Hey, I'm Kevin,
Hi, I'm Meg.
and we're here at Past the Aisle.
We're here.
So it's another Thursday, and yeah, let's do our regular weekly roundup of what we did.
Okay, what happened,
Um,
B?
the closest thing I can remember was yesterday. So, like I said on Instagram, we both and Jenna we went to Ebel Santa Ana, which is a new wedding venue in Santa Ana.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Normally Ebel is I think is an all women's club,
Oh,
and usually it's all scattered throughout LA. So there's an Ebel in Los Angeles, there's an Ebel in Long Beach,
yeah.
and we photographed at both of those venues. So Santa Ana is another chapter, which was taken over by Colette Catering. So that was cool to see that there's a catering company taking over because
Yeah.
their food was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
It was
had
good.
a lot of great different types of variety throughout the night. We had scallop salad. We had lamb chops.
That was
with
my favorite.
Potatoes. We have this little bacon little thing.
Bacon jam.
Oh, bacon jam.
Yeah, that was really good.
And artichoke.
Something
Some puff
pastry.
artichoke.
That was good.
Other than that, yeah, the space was gorgeous. It had a lot of like different pockets.
Yeah.
To have an event. It even has its own movie theater.
Yeah.
Which is different. I think
It's very different.
I think it's a great different feature to a wedding venue for guests to like when they come, they're like they don't know what to do. They can sit in on an old movie or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, it has a center courtyard that you can't even see from the outside, so it made it really private. In a way that you feel very enclosed. You don't hear the road noises or anything
Yeah.
while you're in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to dance.
I got to dance. Yeah, Jenna went with us, so I had a dancing partner this time. And then they had a pretty good band and everything. Free open bar. Open bar is always good. It was so good to see everybody again too.
Yeah.
So now that we're making more time in our schedule to actually attend these events, which is really nice. It's a way to grow the team and to build some culture around what we do. And it's been really nice to look back now that I'm bullet journaling and I'm like physically writing down the things that we're doing. And then I get to compare it to what we used to do or basically didn't do in the past in our business. And it doesn't even feel like it's business now. Now it feels more just like part of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And like I remember Jenna was in the car, and this was her first time to attend one of these sort of vendor events. She was like, "So what's the strategy, right? When you guys go into things like this?" And we're like, "We don't have any strategy." You know, I like to look at these things as like we're gonna see our friends in the industry. We may have some cards on us or something, but I don't like that fakeness that I think tends to follow events like this. I mean, there's a sort of like politeness that you have to invoke when you meet a new person.
Yeah.
But I came from the podcasting world and I had time to really be in it. And there was a lot of fakers out there, which I did not appreciate. And that's a big reason why I left that industry because I felt myself like turning into somebody I'm not as well. The sort of like fake it till you make it culture.
There's a lot of fake it till you make it on Instagram.
On Instagram, right? So, and it's so easy to fall into it. And I wanted to keep a sense of authenticity in what I do because at the end of the day, you have to be really happy with what you're doing, what you're putting out in the world. So that's why I left that industry. Not to say that everybody was like that. But it certainly got a really good taste of it, and it just didn't feel very good to me. Yeah. So it feels really good to come back into the wedding industry, to know who's who, because we've been here for quite some time in the wedding industry, but now to be actually engaging with our fellow vendors. And it's not like we're doing anything crazy. We're basically showing up, and we, for the most part, keep to our clique of people who we know. And if we do meet somebody new that we do make a genuine connection with, that's awesome. That's what I'm looking for. Because you're not going to be just like passing out 5 business cards here and there and like shaking hands like, hey, like doing this sort of weird fake thing. Like we don't do that. And that's good. I want to keep our company and keep who we are as representatives authentic. If we truly connect, cool.
Yeah.
If we don't, cool, that's cool too.
Yeah.
Like no pressure to be somebody that you're not. So that was really cool, and it was good that she asked that because I just didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, I remember during the event, I would ask her like, "Oh, so what'd you think during the event?" And she said people were nicer, people were more authentic than the podcast world.
And maybe I have a very skewed. I don't want to speak ill of it. I just didn't have the best experience, I guess, and maybe too because I was not the best person I could be. I think I was in the wrong lane in some way or another. Definitely gained a lot from it, but also saw a lot of weird stuff that I just didn't jive with. I didn't like it. So yeah, she could make that comparison too, because she was also, I dragged her along to some events as well, so we could kind of see what the people are like, I guess, or what the culture is. Not what the people are, what the culture is, or what the beat is amongst people.
But the culture, it still feels the same. Because I like over the years I worked with like so many of those vendors.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to see. It's like your wedding, but then it's like your wedding with all these people that you always work with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it feels.
How does it feel for you being like out of the spotlight, not spotlight, but out of the beat of like the industry? Like we always see people go out, whatever, like WPPI, you're like, oh, whatever, cool. But how does it feel for you, like being a little bit more back on the scene, so to speak?
It feels well, the nursery was different.
Yeah.
That was a different vibe.
Yeah.
Versus the one yesterday at eBell.
Yeah.
The one yesterday at eBell was very upbeat, I would say. And,
yeah.
It reminded me of like the knot parties or wedding wire parties.
Oh, they're like that?
Yeah, they're like that.
I see.
But yeah, people have their own cliques still.
Yeah, you could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're either nervous to kind of speak with other people.
Oh, I'm always nervous. If I'm not talking to you, by the by, I'm gonna just put that out there. If I'm not talking to you, if you make the first move, then that's cool.
Yeah. But for me, there has to be a reason for me to make
a connection.
A connection.
Yeah.
Like if I clearly don't know you, I never follow you, I never seen any of your work, then there's no reason for me to.
Yeah, we don't do the whole like speed networking thing where they just go like Toastmasters or something, just like I don't know you at all, and I'm gonna shake your hand and say hi and introduce myself. I think it's really difficult for artists in general because for the most part we're all very introverted. You're like, you make the first move. No, you make the first move. So what else? Anything different? I mean, maybe like besides the space, because obviously
anything different for the space.
No. Like for you personally, like how do you feel going back in there?
Well, it was freaking different because I was sober. Like normally I could have a drink and it loosens me up.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, make
but
that
then
comment.
I was like, I can see everything like clearly.
Yeah, you seemed more quieter and more reserved, but then I thought to myself, you're always pretty quiet and reserved, even when you do drink. And then when you really drink, you even get more like a little weird.
Well, not really. Only weird to you.
Yeah, that's why I see it on the outside. I get louder.
Yeah.
So I get louder and I get more talkative and I start dancing. Yeah, I have a good time. But yeah, you didn't seem that much different. It must have just been a bummer just to not participate.
Yeah.
To go through the motion, the regular motion that you do.
To eat what you want to eat.
To eat what you want.
Yeah.
Grab anything. Get excited about anything.
But it was control, and I had control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you feel sad after? Is that why?
Not really. I kind of see what was about to come this week.
Yeah.
We have a lot of things coming up.
Yeah.
And I felt like I don't want to overdo it in the next 4 days. Like today, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah. What are we doing?
And then on Tuesday with Anna Ramel. So there's like...
Wednesday.
Or Wednesday. It's just a lot of going out.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to overdo it.
Because
I can easily just eat a lot.
Right.
Or I can easily just drink I don't drink a lot, but then more than what is normal
right
they said if we're drinking hard liquor, I mean, especially for a pre-diabetic diet plan, is only 1 ounce per day.
Right.
And when we tasted that one time with all those Johnny Walkers, that was 5 ounces. So it was, surpassing it.
Yeah.
And even though some people said, from what I've read on like Reddit and everything, everyone has little high levels of liver, but some people are just more susceptible than others. Like you could have your blood drawn and you're stable even the amount you drink, but then for someone like me that was not even a heavy liquor drinker to begin with, right?
Because is that genetic, or is that why?
It could be genetics, or it's just the way you've been training your body for a long time. Like I was never into drinking.
That's true. Yeah, you never drank before.
So it's like a shock.
You're like, whoa, what the heck?
Yeah, like what the heck?
You like whiskey now?
But the only thing is, you don't want to go into cirrhosis.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I have to still measure liver enzymes. There's also other things out there called liver detox, where you have to like drink lemon water and then fast for like 2 days to clearly like flush out all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
But then there's also studies that it doesn't really work, so I really don't know. So I think the best thing I could do is just control the amount that I drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard that a lot, and I know I always feel better when you take just some lemon water, and if you just do it on a daily basis, it's like just doing your extra little cleanse, I guess, or even just a lot of water in the morning, and then start your day.
Yeah.
But
it's been about almost a month with this change, so it's pretty cool that
it hasn't even been that long. I totally thought it was longer.
Yeah, it doesn't feel way too foreign. In some aspects it is foreign, but I don't feel any like I want to go back. I do like now when I taste sugary stuff, like one of those hors d'oeuvres yesterday, it was super sweet, and it was like probably before I was like, oh, this is not sweet at all.
Yeah,
but since not having sugar for a long time,
that's true. Yeah, like when you were like, oh, I don't like salt, and I could never put salt in things, and I kind of got used to, because I used to like really, really salty stuff. I still like salty stuff, but like now I find myself going like, oh yeah, I don't like it that salty. Like a lot of Filipino food is really salty.
Yeah,
I'll notice it.
It's like anything that you stop.
Train your body, that's what you said.
Train your body.
Yeah, what you train your body
for.
Like
eliminate the things that you do like.
Yeah.
And not overdo it for like 20 days to build a habit.
Yeah.
Then after that, you'll be like, hey, this thing is really salty, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a month. Do you find yourself like creating like it? Do you find yourself feeling that that's true? 20 days to make a habit.
Yeah. Well, for working out, I've been working out consistently.
But you like doing that. What about the stuff that you don't like?
For eating, I would say there's still challenges because I have to keep eating less of like carbs, like bread. Yeah. Like, see, I'm still challenging myself to really not cut it out.
Yeah.
Because they said low carb versus normal carb diet, there's no difference.
There is no difference. Yeah.
They're like, just manage your calorie intake and not going over a 50% carbohydrate intake.
Right.
So in conversion to 50% is 200 milligrams of carbs. So that's six breads, like 6 slices of bread, basically. We've been only eating those little muffins for a while, and that's like equal to like 1 slice of bread. So it's pretty cool to see grabbing out something smaller and putting it on a small plate. Yeah. Because what you see is what you get in a way. And it trains my mind from overeating.
Yeah.
Because that's all I see in front of my plate versus when you use a bigger plate, you tend to fill up that plate with other items. Like, oh, I need some sides now. I need a little bit more potato chips with my sandwich, things like that. So I say it's still challenging, but I have to go through the motion of like trying to portion control in what I eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that still goes on. I think I got like the gist of what I need to eat for the past month, but then now it's portion control of that.
Okay.
So it's
yeah.
like baby steps.
like
in a way.
refining it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like baby steps. You know, I didn't want to go back to what we did when we were in a keto diet where we just like went straight into it and then a rebound right after the wedding day.
Right.
So nothing like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is more of a slow progression.
Uh-huh.
Even though the doctor said like, oh, I have to go back in 2 weeks to check my vitals and everything, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you don't. You know, like.
But don't you want confirmation that
I was
the things you're doing?
I was doing I was thinking of doing a confirmation half of the year. I think 2 weeks is way too soon.
Oh,
like
okay.
they're thinking of going like 100%. If you kind of think about it, go lose weight, stop sugar immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
Stop carbs immediately.
Yeah.
Right? For 2 weeks and then check back. I'm like, that's going 100%. I will rebound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
after
see.
2 weeks.
I see.
Yeah.
I think, well, maybe they were looking at it in terms of like, hey, your situation is kind of dire before you get to, because you're pre-diabetic and they don't want you to get to diabetic, right?
Yeah.
So I think they were looking at it like, hey, it's a emergency almost for you.
It's sort of like, I think it's for those that needs more guidance than me, those that don't have control. Even more emotional to food or not willing to change. Yeah.
I see.
There's people out there, oh, I got those vitals, but I'll still do my own shit. Like, I'll still keep doing what I've been doing.
Right.
Yeah.
So you feel confident in your own health plan.
Yeah, I feel confident in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I work my ass off in the gym. You know, I've been working harder. Like, I've refined my program and what I do to burn more calories, and then you already experienced I was in ketosis that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And now it's gone, so it looks like now I'm burning.
Well, I'm assuming. I don't know. You can only know for sure if you do a blood test, like how diabetics do. They poke their skin and they get a blood drawn and they see where their levels are at.
Yeah.
That's the only way. But we were just having evidence of you being in ketosis, meaning that you're burning fat for your energy instead of glucose, which is sugar, which most of us do because we have a lot of high sugar diet here in America. So I was thinking, dude, because you were smelling. So this was the whole big red flag. If you guys are going on a diet and maybe you're going to be like, going to go keto diet where you're going to be switching your fuel source from sugar to fat or protein, better fat, right? To be getting your fuel from there. You started to smell. So, and he smelled like, and it was weird because he smelled like onions and garlic. And you weren't eating onions and garlic. And I was like, and it lasted for, just to assure you, if any of you are going through this, it only lasted like 3 weeks. I mean, that was a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time.
At least it was temporary because I was like, dude, I know you're going to go through your health thing, whatever. Is this going to be forever? Like, are you going to smell forever? And it worried me because I was like, please don't. It was really, it was a problem for me because my nose is pretty sensitive. So, so we started to research it. And at first we thought it was too many eggs because I was giving you hard-boiled eggs to, no more fried eggs. So we thought it was the hard-boiled eggs. So we stopped giving you eggs. And then still we're smelling a little bit. And then we researched a little bit more and it was being in ketosis. So that's our assumption. Yeah. Our internet researched assumption. But I think we were right because now you don't smell because you've gotten over that little hump. It's only temporary. And
I feel I've been burning more fat.
And you're getting your energy from your fat.
Yeah. I feel like, like I can sustain.
But you said you've been feeling tired.
Not like I'm like tired of like. I guess I'm not tired.
Your eyes are twitching to right now as you talk to me.
Mentally tired.
I'm not tired.
Mentally tired. I feel.
Mentally, why are you mentally tired?
Like just going out and stuff.
You're mentally tired from going out?
Well, like maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I like to.
I don't think I'm physically tired. Not physically tired.
Not physically tired. Okay.
I think if you tell me, let's go kayaking, I'll do kayaking.
You can do physical things.
Yeah.
But the things that you're tired of is socially things?
Yeah, probably socially things.
Because your introverted side is like, I want to recharge.
Yeah.
And because you were telling me I want to pay attention to what you're saying, which is the week before, you're like, you probably said it like 5 times. You're like, oh, it's back to back. We're going to have 4 events or whatever. And I'm like, but 2 of those is like hanging out with friends.
Yeah.
You know, me thinking from my point of view, which is like, I get recharged when I spend it with the right people.
Yeah.
Not with strangers, for sure. So if we went to the event last night and we know like one person, maybe I would be exhausted and also mentally tired. So not getting any energy from that. So yeah, I just wanted to pay attention. Like, okay, so you were like kind of almost dreading this week in a way, weirdly, like contradictorily dreading this week because you had so many events. And I was gonna ask you why. Is it because you were afraid of the diet thing? Like, oh, it just means more controlling?
It's not that. I think it's just I didn't know there was the event with that the one at the villa was going to be on Sunday.
So why does it trouble you though that it's on Sunday?
Because it's a little bit too much
things
going on, because I did want to space things out. I feel like I like to space events out so I can really enjoy it. When they're back to back, it takes a lot of energy out of me.
Okay,
yeah.
I see. But when you're there, could you just be present there and then? So you need a break in between to like recharge.
Yeah, I feel like when I'm there, I'm really quiet. Like I can just say nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I normally.
Well, but because it's funny.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find out. Sometimes we'll spend a solid month working really hard.
Yeah.
And we'll be here. We'll be at home, you know, and it's just us. And then you'll be like, oh, I have like something cabin fever. Like I need to get out. We need to go out. And I'm like, okay, so now you have your opportunity to go out now.
Yeah.
But then now you're like,
it's not the right going out.
What's the right going out?
The right going out is like the outdoors.
The outdoors.
Yeah. Like, you know, away from
people.
Yeah. Basically.
Do you want to continue doing these social things?
Every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still feel like, yeah, you can still show face and everything, and support, but I feel like, I don't need to be there all the time for every single one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it was too many events in 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
But mainly, I do feel most alive when we're doing activities. Sports. Yeah, sports. Like that's where
when it's just you and I, or you want to like do it with other people.
Either me, and you, or yeah. There's no other person that does what we do. Fly fishing.
Well, why don't you ask? How do you know that? You don't
I know that.
that.
I asked.
Well, you could do other things, right? Like you have all these mountain bikes and all that stuff.
Yeah, but those need to be repaired.
Yeah, so repair them. I mean,
it's
a lot of pressure on me to do all the things that you want to do because you're really active. And like, I want you to do all the outdoor things, and I can do what I can do. But then I know, like, when I'm tired and you're like, oh man, she's tired. Like I could see that, or I could feel that in you. Like, I'm like, well, it's like, you don't go out with anybody else. So like, I need a break too.
Yeah.
You know, like
no,
for
I
you
understand
to.
that. But, you know, other people don't have the luxury of having a mountain bike. You know, no one has rock climbing gears. It's very like the sports that we chose are like very articulate.
Paul invited you to basketball.
Yeah, but you already know I'm not a basketball player.
Yeah.
Like, I was never into that sport to begin with.
No, I knew that.
Yeah. I tried it.
Or badminton. They do badminton too, those guys, right?
No, only Eric. We didn't see Eric.
Yeah, we never see Eric.
The club, you know, like it costs money, you know, now you have to go into another sport. And then you have to purchase a membership.
Yeah.
And then you don't know if you're going to be committed to it.
Yeah.
Things like that.
I see.
Yeah.
So you're in quite a pickle then, huh?
Basically. I mean, we're far away from our rock climbing gym that we normally go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, or else, you know.
You could climb on your own.
I could climb on my own.
A lot of people climb on their own. Like when we were like kind of immersed in the climbing culture before, tons of people just go on their own.
Yeah.
Why don't you do that?
Well, it's the drive back that sucks.
Oh, to go out there.
Yeah.
There's always hanger right here too. Oh,
Yeah,
that
I
one's on the
haven't
15.
Yeah, that one still sucks too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I mean, hanger is known for just the in between top roping. It's like what
Rock
City
City.
used to be.
I see.
But now Rock City has become more of a factory boulder.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
That
I would
could
like
be-
to go back.
That could be an option for you.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to I don't like feeling like your ball and chain also.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to feel like mine. You know, like I love that way we do things together. I also monitor that now in my little bullet journal because I want to make sure that I remedy that part that
Yeah.
bothered you, you know, that we do things together. And I like to do it too, for sure. It's not just you, me doing it for you. I want to do it with you too. At the same time, I believe like men need to have the support of other men, and they do their own thing too. And women need the support of other women, and I want to start doing things with other women too. So that could be something I could explore as well.
Yeah.
But not just too much relying on each other,
Yeah.
too attached.
Yeah.
Like I don't really like that because it means, to me, it feels like we don't have any skills outside of you and I.
Mm-hmm.
Social skills outside of you and I.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of people like that, and I don't think there's anything wrong if that's the way you do your thing. But for me, it doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, before we moved here, and I think a couple years before, the change of pace, many things have changed over the years, and it kind of wish-washed a lot of the things that I used to do. Like, I used to mountain bike on the weekends.
oh, because we're out here.
It's not because we're out here. It was like the change of business. Yeah, you couldn't sustain second shooting, so John took over. That's when mountain bike stopped. Yeah, and then
Why?
It's just a change of things because then we had to rack up income in order to. At that time, the mindset was, how do we help John? You know, because he quit his job.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
wanted to support him.
Yeah, I wanted to support him.
But you
So
guys
there's
did
many-
way better.
But then there's many other factors, right? So we didn't think about editor, didn't think about systems, didn't think about SOPs. So many things kind of washed out the things that I used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it
because you're saying because you had a new focus.
yeah, we had Well, I had new focuses. Like I can't have room for everything. Yeah, I
Right.
couldn't find a balance. And then the friends that I used to mountain bike with, right? They stopped mountain biking because they had kids.
Mm.
You know, their first kid, and
Mm.
then after that, then they sold their bikes, and then there was another group I have to follow. But then I'm like, I don't really gel with this group.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So-
then Jesse at the time was like the only person that I mountain bike with. But
Jesse.
Then,
Oh yeah.
and then after that, we kind of split ways because he needed to do his own thing, and then we're trying to find ourselves where we were
Yeah.
during that time. So there's many factors. And then you got injured in rock climbing from bouldering, and then we tried top roping, and then we went outside. And top roping was expensive, especially you want to climb indoors. Outdoors is a little dangerous because you just need to know like if it's windy that day and things.
Well, I feel
So-
that when I got injured,
Mhm.
it was like, to me, it felt like a lot of pressure and guilt because it's like you were like, I don't want to go because you're injured. It's like when I got injured, you got injured in a way. You cut yourself off.
Yeah.
And I had no problem with you going do your thing. But it always felt like, I mean, I did feel like a little blame, you know?
Well, I mean, top roping takes two people, and there's not a lot of people. And I didn't want to drag my brother along because I have to, you know,
He had to belay you.
yeah, he has to belay me, but then at
Yeah.
the same time, he couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
It's $25 like each.
But you
day.
can still boulder,
You can still boulder, but then
and that was only you.
yeah, that's only me. But I didn't really like bouldering
Uh-huh.
as much as you did.
Uh-huh.
Like I do like top roping more.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like bouldering is like doing a lot of pull-ups.
I mean, it's still all good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I didn't like the drag on my hands. That's
Yeah.
why that feeling of like always ripping skin. I rip less skin on top roping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Well,
But
now.
either way, I mean, I found what I like to do.
Yeah. What about now? Like you have Qual that climbs. You guys could easily go top rope together.
Yeah, but I don't want to be based on someone's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll find my own way.
Yeah. I see. Okay.
Because there's still, when you ask friends, you gotta work out a schedule.
Right.
It's not like they're like us.
Right.
It's not convenient like you and I. Is like we know each other's schedule. And
right.
Like, hey, let's bounce.
Right.
Let's do that. Let's go fly fish.
Yeah.
Things like that. It's not that easy.
That's true. Well,
because
I just want to make sure
most of the people that only people within our industry understand that their weekdays or they can totally take whatever time off.
Yeah.
But then for 9 to 5s, you got to go climbing in the evening, which it's really crowded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't want you to wait for me.
Yeah. I'm not waiting for you.
Yeah. Because that's a lot of times it feels like that. Oh, there's a thing I wrote down in my journal I want to talk about today, which is like you have a tendency of like asking indirectly for yourself.
Yeah, we spoke about that before.
Right? Mm-hmm. And it's still really prominent. Like it's still really apparent in a lot of my eyes twitching like crazy. And a lot of the things you do, like when you're asking me something. Mm-hmm. For example, like the funny one that I can think of is like, oh, do you have wipes for your little toilet? Right? Because I have a little toilet in the car because of IBS. And I was like, I got these little things here. And you kept asking me, you make sure you have wipes. Mm-hmm. Make sure you have wipes, right? I'm like, why are you asking me 1 billion times about wipes?
Yeah.
Oh, you're asking for you. And you do that a lot. And I want to address that because it's like, if it's a question for you, you should not feel that you have to hide the way that you ask me. Just ask me for you. Like if you want to go to the HOA meeting for you because you're interested, don't wait for me to approve it. Like don't wait for me to be like, and then it becomes like, then you're like the gym, for example. Yeah. It becomes something that you want me to get involved in, but it was your first move.
Yeah. Like
I want you to own it. Like the whole the new gym piece that we're getting in the gym. Yeah. The lat pull down thing. Like you want it? Cool, that's fine. I just said make sure it fits. Make sure it makes sense. Make sure when they install it, it's not going to run into the mirror. I think about the installation. Yeah. And then sometimes, or most of the time, you try to get me into carrying the same amount that you care. And it's like a weird pressure that you put upon me. And it's like if I didn't use the lat pull down machine, you're like, well, why are you not using the lat pull down machine? That would be like with the Theragun or something like that, or the massage chair. It's like, but you wanted to get it. Why is there pressure on me? So I would like you to take, like, there's no problem to take full responsibility of the things that you want to do, you're asking or you're interested in. Yeah. I will support it, but there's no reason to have me like try to weasel in, like, I want to ask her this, like, how do I sneakily get her to care about it? You don't need to do that with me.
But that's funny that you nitpick that because I don't even think about it.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
Of course you wouldn't because you're in your world.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you like to think very just for you. Yeah. But I'm over here trying to be your partner and be like, oh, that's interesting. And I care about what you care about too. So
it's funny that I don't see anything in you in a way that you see all these things that I do.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Well, I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be present. I'm trying to look at like, okay, how can we be better? Because if I feel a certain way, like I didn't like the way that you approach me of the way that you do that sometimes. I don't like how that feels.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I want to dissect how I can react. And if I don't like it, then I can just say, hey, you don't have to do that with me.
Yeah.
You don't have to sneakily weasel your way in. Like getting me a meat grinder if you wanted to make sandwiches like long time ago.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that with me.
I see.
You can buy the meat thing and be like, let's make sandwiches. Don't be like, hey, here's a gift for you. It's a meat slicer. Make me sandwiches. I don't like that. It's just be direct. I don't like how sometimes it's indirect. And I'm like, wait, I thought this is a gift for me.
Yeah.
Or I thought you're asking about, or you care about me.
There's a lot of I don't like. So I get it.
You get it?
Yeah.
So I want to address that because I'm like, I didn't really know how to address it also.
Yeah.
It seems like you say the word nitpick, right? Like you think it's a small thing.
You do hold a lot of things in you. Do you know why do you hold a lot of these rants that just come out randomly? Like in the car, you start ranting off about one thing or something about podcasting. Like you go, you know, for example, like those guys that will approach you and things like that want to talk and everything, but then you go off in a tangent, you know. So, why do you keep all that? Like,
because they
seem like they're grudges in a way, like.
Yeah, they're bad experiences.
But why don't you let it go?
Because they hurt.
But I mean, even though they hurt and it passed already, why still hold on to it?
Because it still happens to this day.
To you?
Yes.
I mean, then how are you going to solve it to make it a better experience?
I solve it by talking about it, bringing attention to it, instead of pushing it under the rug like I normally would. Like I normally would, right?
But why do you bring it during the wrong time, though?
Why is it the wrong time?
Because, you know, you're trying to have fun, right? But then you don't want to be, like, ranting in a conversation to the point that, you know, it's...
But we were in a private space when I was ranting.
Yeah, I know. But then, you know, like everyone was still on the way to an event, right? So I'm trying to get where you're coming from.
No, we were on the way back.
No, we're on the way there.
I was ranting about that one dude who came talking to me. And it's an
one.
old...
This is before. You're talking about podcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're doing a comparison with the podcast of the wedding world.
No, because she had the same experience.
Yeah,
and we didn't like it, so I could gel with her on that. So we were talking from experience.
But I mean, why bring it up though? You know, like it.
A woman's perspective in that situation is going to be really different than what you experience as a man. There's a lot of stories I did not tell you.
Yeah.
I did not tell you about a lot of these Me Too stories that a lot of people put in social. Yeah. Well, so I mean, that's our defense.
Well, I know, but why bring it up and bring the conversation into play?
Well, we must protect.
Yeah.
We, as women who are like, I would say we're attractive. Okay. So when we go into a situation like that, there's been many times where people come step to us, weird men come step to us and try to, like, it feels weird.
Yeah.
And as a woman, like, we're on guard because there's just been too many freaking times that we've had people do something inappropriate to us. That's why we're on guard.
Then why attract them?
We're not attract. We're just being us. All right.
Yeah.
So this is the thing that men were like, well, don't dress like that. No. It's the man on the other side who cannot control whatever the fuck he's thinking about. Yeah. And he thinks that he can come and touch you or talk to you a certain way. No. So as women, we check in with each other. That's our language. We must protect. We have to be careful. We have to talk about it.
I see. Then why don't say that?
Because we already unsaid. Unsaid, we know.
But
we're women, we know.
That doesn't understand.
Well, I didn't know you had a problem with it. This is.
Well, I just felt like I was driving, right? This is from my perspective.
Yeah.
It was a lot of rant. So I was like, man, this is like not, you know, it's not, it's throwing the mood off a little bit.
Throwing your mood off?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not, it wasn't.
Be prepared because it happens. Because we must do that.
Yeah.
That's the world that we've been trained to live in. Mm-hmm. Because we've got that type of behavior. And we're like, if that's the behavior that's out there and it happens so much. And for men, it's like, oh, I'm just playing. I'm just flirting.
Yeah.
No. Right? So I think more and more women are getting more able. And I need your support as my husband.
Yeah.
You know, I need your support.
I can't support you if you don't say anything.
That's what are you talking about? That's why I talk about it.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're saying support, I didn't know what the hell you're coming from in the car, you know?
Now you know.
Yeah, now you know. But I didn't know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like, we ran into that a lot.
yeah.
A lot, I'll tell you. And even before then, just
Yeah.
being a woman where and I'm small in stature, like I ran into that a lot. I feel like I got it was easy for people to see a way to take advantage. Plus I was super passive before, not as outspoken as I am today.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot easier for men to do that.
Mm.
And I found myself in that situation because I did not speak up, because I did not have, the confidence that I have today.
Yeah.
But it took me 30 years? Jesus. So that's where I'm coming from. And I need your support as my husband to be like, to keep an eye, to watch out for me too. Like, not to watch out for me, but to know, like, I need to know you have my back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm going to be on guard,
Yeah.
because it happened to me, just like your mom, or just like something happened to you. You're like, how you think of negative things right away?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this photo booth prop is made out of metal. The first thing you said is not that is nice. People are saying, oh, somebody's going to take this. So the first thing that you often think about is the negativity because you've been burnt before. Mm-hmm. Somebody took something from yours from the photo booth, right? So it's the same mentality. It's happened a lot to me before. So that's why I'm on guard. And it's just me to be responsible and protect myself.
Yeah.
And my sister, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because she's naive. She's never been to one of these things.
Yeah.
So I want to let her know.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you find yourself in this situation, do not feel that you need to stay. I told her that. And that's for her own protection.
Yeah.
Right.
I see.
Not a rant. You say it's a rant, but now you understand where I come from.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was just a tone that, like, came out of nowhere. Like,
because I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah, well, it just kind of flipped in a way. It went from a good conversation to a serious conversation.
We will not be naive.
Yeah.
I got the biggest mistake of my life for being naive. Mm-hmm. Right? So I always learn. I try to learn from my mistake and then protect my sister, of course, and make sure we don't make those dumb mistakes.
Yeah.
I want to make sure, and she's in a relationship. I want to make sure she protects herself. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter. Like, I always thought that I could trust that person who screwed me over.
Yeah.
I had so much trust and, support, I felt such a way about him and look what happened. Right. So you just have to be responsible. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't hold a grudge, really. I just hey, pay attention. That happened to you. You pay attention, don't let it happen to you. It's just being smart, I think,
Mm-hmm. All right.
But yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So what else happened this week? You also paid your taxes. We also paid our taxes.
We paid our taxes.
Yeah. It was something different.
I mean, it's a different feel because no, we don't need to talk about it. It's just a different feel.
A different feel.
Yeah. Because we haven't lost in a while.
Well, I had my a chance to talk about this in a very kind of vague way when I did my Let's Play for I was playing RDR and I was like, because we were talking to Mary, our accountant, mm-hmm. and on paper we have a loss, and it's because you guys invested a lot and spent money in the business. Yeah. And then we didn't have to owe so much because we spent so much. And then we were coming back home from the tax lady and we were like, oh, it wasn't too bad. We didn't have to owe a crap ton like we did last year.
Yeah, well, the cool thing is that you feel better because you paid for your business. You invested basically in yourself.
Yeah, because she said loss. But I didn't feel like we lost. Yeah,
it's a gain for the business, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a loss to the government.
That's why they call it a loss, because they're not getting their money.
It's a loss to them. Yeah.
They try to make you feel bad.
Mm-hmm. That's the lingo.
We're learning. And now...
That's the freaking lingo. I mean, yeah, you created a system, right, for freedom. It's not really a freedom. We're in the system of America, right?
Yeah.
And, but yeah, if you're able to spend more for your business,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Do it, because then your money is in the ecosystem and it gets spread out, and then people buy stuff, people do this and that.
Yeah.
So you're, keeping the economy alive. So
Yeah.
I kind of see it, that's more of a positive factor than just taking this lump sum that you owe for the government versus investing into your business.
Right.
So it's cool that what we did. At first, I was Nathan and I would say, man, $14,000 is a lot. Yeah, that's a lot to renovate. That's all I thought about it. But in the end, it's now that we don't owe anything. I was like, that's not a loss. I think it was good that we did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were saying instead of the money going to taxes, it went to our business.
Yeah.
Because if you don't spend that allowance that you have at the end of the year, they're basically seeing your profit as an allowance.
Yeah.
Like you have an allowance to pay me.
Yeah, you have the allowance to pay them, which, like, I don't know how they're spending our money. They're spending it on military.
That's the thing I have a problem with, man.
On the freaking U.S. border or whatever it is.
Like what?
Right?
Yeah, we don't even know.
So, yeah, like that 7,000, you don't know what is being invested in. So at least you know that 7,500 was taken into your business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's cool that, our studio may cost just a little bit more than the Fullerton.
Yeah.
But then the convenience, it's a little closer. It has a parking. You don't have to struggle to find parking like our Fullerton one. And it looks nice. It's spacious.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can spread your wings in there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You look more established.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's business, and you're just, promoting your business.
Yeah. I see.
So
yeah, I thought.
And then that FaceTime, like, we discussed, like, we want to do more FaceTime, right? I still feel, and we always talk.
Oh, you're talking about meetings?
About meetings, yeah.
Okay.
Like back and forth type of thing.
Yeah.
And then after doing taxes, I was thinking about the financial aspect of that.
Yeah.
I was like, now that it's more of a business expense, right? It's always been a business expense, but I don't feel too bad that how much we're paying every month for it, because it's for us.
It's for us, yeah. If you change your perspective about it.
And we can do a lot more in that space, and I feel we haven't taken advantage of it fully.
Yep.
So I really don't know. We may have to, we should talk about it more and what we can do within that space.
Are you thinking does anything come to mind right away?
Not yet. Yeah. But we can host something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And
like an intimate something.
It's just something. I really don't know what it is yet.
Yeah. I have an idea.
That was Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
And then I forget what we did last weekend. Let me check our calendar.
Last weekend? I don't remember.
So we went to. I just had a meeting, and then we kind of just hung out at home.
Yeah.
Stayed at home. It went to Whole Foods, and it was like
Whole Foods is on your calendar.
My friend did some work on my teeth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that was cool. So I was his first adult patient at Loma Linda Dentistry School.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see like the process, the training that went through.
Yeah.
And then, he was applying his knowledge to my teeth.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool to learn as well, being his patient and everything. Yeah.
Okay.
So no cavities, but a lot of plaque and calcium. And what I learned is if you don't clean your calcium, if you don't go to the dentist to do a dental cleaning, which you should do it every like 6 months, that calcium eats away your gums and then exposes. Starts to bleed, right? But then your roots starts to be exposed, and then you can have some dental diseases, and they'll have to pull your teeth out and put a fake tooth in, things like that. Yeah. So it brought awareness that everything matters in your body. You can't neglect any part. Yeah, you have to do your dental cleaning. You have to do your regular checkups. You have to stretch. You have to do yoga.
Yeah.
you have to do eye exams, hearing checks, all that stuff.
All the little things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially as we're getting older, yeah, it's more important. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty crazy.
because studies shown that if you don't clean your damn teeth, you're going to get Alzheimer's.
Is that proven?
Well, yeah, it's proven in some ways, based on mice lab tests, that it links up to Alzheimer.
Yeah.
They recently found a cure to HIV. I don't know if you read that. There was an HIV patient that was resistant towards HIV, and then they used that they did what's that, bone marrow tests on that patient that was resistant towards it, and applied it to another patient, and it worked for now. So they're like still testing it out, but it works. It totally reverses HIV, which is good news, because there's a huge number of them.
I wonder if big pharma is going to be all like trying to hinder these results, or hinder, how they always say like there's this big conspiracy that big pharma keeps people sick because it keeps them rich.
Yeah. Well, just like insulin, I also read that costs about $120 per like a little vial of that.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a huge monthly expense because people would go through probably 2 or 3 of those.
I wonder who owns those.
Yeah, but those business are
making bank.
Making bank.
Right.
Yeah.
Off people being sick.
Yeah, off people that are sick. And it sucks. Yeah.
And I bet they're not like, when they sell this vial of insulin, they're not like, okay, man, like, what are you doing to make your life better? They're probably just like, ka-ching, bye.
Yeah.
See you next month.
Yeah.
Right? They're not educating. Like Jenna was telling us that she knew somebody dealing with that, and that it's such an expense, and like they've sort of had an attitude of like, they've settled with the idea of this is my life. This is my life to inject insulin. Right. And it's like, geez, that sucks. I know what that feels like, because I would, I was injured for so long, for like 6 years. And then I was thinking too, like, is this my life? Am I not going to be able to throw disc golf, all these little things that I was doing? And like you get settled, like, I'm just going to have to do this. And they just accept it. That sucks. Instead of giving them like, hey, like if you change your diet, what will that do? Right? But changing people's behaviors is really hard. It's not just changing a diet, it's changing the behavior. Like you actually wanting to eat healthy. Right?
Yeah.
And not being like, oh, this sucks every time you go eat.
Like very similar to like, oh man, Keiser nickel and dimes you all the time. You visit the doctor, you pay, you get home, you get a bill.
Yeah, what's up with that, man?
But you know what? It's their policy, and that's what it is. That's what it is, and you just need to do it for your own sake to stay healthy, stay on top of your game, so you can visit less. So if you can visit initially, just to know where your standard of health is currently, then know what to fix, know what to work on, then you won't have to revisit all the damn time.
Well, I think like I let that dude who told me I should get an x-ray get to my head.
Yeah.
Because I knew what I was doing. I already knew, like I already saw progress and proof that I was doing the right things for my knee.
Yeah.
And going in there and having an x-ray and like, okay, if this is hurt and I have to go see an x-ray for this, like, should I ask you about this? Like you start spiraling in your brain, and then you start getting super worried, which they love.
Yeah. And
then they're telling you, oh, just go and talk to me on the Keiser website or whatever, and they charge you $100 for that. And it's like, what the fuck? So it's all really like this negative spiral that they feed on, because they have to feed themselves.
They have to feed themselves. I kind of think about it as the knowledge that they went through, paying their college degree, what they retained to get them where they're at. You're basically
But they don't give you any valuable information that you already couldn't look up or know for your own sake, because I'm not like invalid. It's not like I wouldn't be able to do that. Or they go, oh, we can't tell. You'll have to come in. They still charge you for that. And I was like, this is a racket. So
It's
as
a
long
business.
as
It's basically
it's not healthcare, it's a business.
It's been a business. Yeah, they've been funneling you.
They call it healthcare.
Yeah, left and right. Like, all right, you need this, then you're
You
gonna
go
go
to
over here,
specialist.
and then you go over here,
Yeah.
and then you go over there.
It's a racket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it's like referral within their company.
Their company, yeah, their business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Keiser tries to monopolize in every field.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do the physical because that's taken care of because we already pay for our insurance, so that's taken care of, and then I can do my blood work, and then I just have to know and trust me to take care of me
Yeah.
and my health, and know like because our diet's gonna be all different. You
Yeah.
can't rely on what like you be keto or you like it's so specific to you. Like anybody who's like trying to lose weight, like. That's the reason why diets don't work.
I don't care about paying for lab works because there is knowledge behind that. You don't have the machine to do that, the technology to draw blood and detect how much,
Oh, you have to pay for that one?
Yeah, you have to pay $60 for it.
Oh, that's not bad.
And I was like, no, that's cool because, I don't have time to do that if I knew how to do that.
But you could go privately.
Yeah, you can do privately, but I don't
Yeah.
know how much that costs. But it's cool. Like, I don't care. That's something I would pay for. But to get like a dental cleaning, right? Yeah, that's something I'll pay for. Eye exams, that's something I'll pay for. But for advice, I don't think it's necessary. I feel.
Yeah.
Nowadays, right? Where you can look it up and then you can do your own comparison based on your own research, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the internet does scare you, thinking that you have something else, but you don't.
Yeah. I think we've lost, or I truly lost like the ability to trust me, like to feel empowered that I can handle and control my health. Like thinking that I'd have to go to this doctor or this specialist or whatever. Like sometimes they need to be there for the for the crisis stuff that happens. Like like the pre-diabetic diagnosis. Okay. But like it was always within your knowledge to eat well.
Yeah.
And to take care of yourself, right? So it's nice to have people like that to acknowledge or validate special case or specific conditions, right? And or the chiropractor to like be like, okay, your hips are out of alignment, I can like put it back, but you got to do the work.
Yeah.
She actually would say that to me. You got to do these exercises, and then doing a bulk of the research online, like what I could do myself. I still had to do it. I still had to take a lot of control, so I didn't have to keep going back to her. And I went to her 4 times, and then now I'm not going back, right?
Yeah.
So she actually empowered me to take control of my health versus the Western medical system, which is like, oh, you have this, and they try to put you in this box, and you need to, do all these things because you have this condition. You are labeled this, and you start identifying with that condition. Like I would identify with my back hurts. Like that would be the first thing I would think about myself, and that's something that you maybe can kind of keep track of. Is like, you don't want to be identified with your diagnosis.
Yeah.
The way that a lot of cancer patients do, I think. I've read that somewhere too.
Yeah.
It's like you start thinking you are this disease.
Yeah.
You start thinking you are this ill formation of your body.
Yeah.
And then you start to like think that's all you are. Like, this is it.
I don't think that's it. I'm going to reverse this shit.
Right. No, but I mean, I'm saying like collectively, it's really easy to start thinking like that because they don't empower you unless you have the discipline to empower yourself and be like, no, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
But if you've been dealing with, say, pain for a long time or overweight for a long time, you just start thinking, I've always been like this.
Yeah.
I've never looked like that. Like, that's one I think both we can identify with. It's like, I've never looked like that. I've never been super duper hecka fit, whatever. I've never looked like that. So how can I even imagine of going here? Right? Like, I think I've heard you say like, oh, I just want to get to this. Where it's like you couldn't even picture yourself being super duper ripped and all that stuff. And I was right there with you. I was like, I can't imagine that for myself either. It's because we've limited ourselves to be in this settled, like, this is who I am. But now I think we're both being consistent, both taking control individually of our health, and that we can maybe actually see that really that ideal person and actually believe it.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we have friends that also think in that mindset as well.
I'm sure it's relatable for everybody, because it's like believing what's actually possible.
Yeah.
It always kind of like it gets wider and wider and wider as you see the possibility for yourself. Because in reality, you can really do anything, right? But it's you, the one who's like, oh yeah, I can, and then your reality does expand. But maybe you have still some limitation. You still think some limitations about yourself. And then you go do something like lose 10 pounds and you're like, well, maybe I can. So it keeps expanding as you keep allowing yourself to see that possibility. And so I think that's pretty cool. And it's good that we're kind of like both on the same track.
I want to ask, why don't you do routine eye exams?
That's so random.
No, I'm just thinking about it right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't think about it.
Because, before when I met you, you did routine eye exams.
Oh, because I had to get new glasses all the time.
Yeah.
But I had the LASIK, so it's like when they give you the LASIK, they're like, you're gonna be good until about 45. So that's why I don't really do eye exams.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they tell you, okay, so we've corrected your vision. It's not perfect. Like I have 20, 21, 20, 40, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's not perfect. One eye is worse. I forget which. And then they're like, when you turn about 40, 45, come back in.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Huh. Why do people do routine eye exams then?
To check their eyes.
Okay.
I mean, mine were corrected.
Yeah.
They were surgically corrected. So it's not like I'm going to have, typically, you're not going to have a degeneration of your eyes.
So having because you have a tendency of itching your eyes a lot, and then you have red eyes like probably every day, is there a prolonged effect to that, you think?
Well, they told me when I first got the surgery, dry eyes is genetic, because my father has dry eyes too. His eyes are always red. We also have allergies that affect the eyes. And then there's a layer. When you go and get consultation for LASIK eye surgery, they see the thickness of your retina. It's basically that skin that covers your pupil. And if you have a really thick layer, they can slice that off, leave the top on. And so they open it up like a flap. They do the laser correction, flap it back down, and then you're good to go in about 24 hours.
Yeah.
So they couldn't do that with me because it was so thin. So because it was a thinner layer, they couldn't just flap up, flap down. It was too thin to do it. So they said, we're going to have to cut that whole thing off.
Yeah.
And we'll put a permanent contact lens in while it regrows. And I'm like, okay. And little did I know, it took like a month to regrow. And it was very painful. It was just always weeping and everything. But totally worth it because I don't have to wear glasses and putting contacts that irritated my eyes. So, and then when it was done, they check your eyes again, and then they tell you like, okay, you're good to go to about 45. You're going to need glasses again anyway. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm going to just roll with 20 years of not having to deal with glasses in my youth.
Which is good.
And then they're just like, you're just going to have to get reading glasses when you turn 45, most likely. And
that's normal.
That's normal.
Yeah.
So that was the technology back in 2010 when I was 25 or whatever. And then we'll see what they're doing now. I have no idea, but that's why.
A new eye.
Yeah. Please give me some new eyes. Yeah. And then the red eyes, like they just said too, because I had the dry eyes and all that shit, like it grew back the same. It grew back really thin.
Yeah.
And so now every day I have to put in lubricant in my eyes, or else when I open them, it'll be like ripping off my eyes.
Wow.
Like it's so dry. I have dry skin, dry everything, you know? So with my eyeballs, I don't have enough lubricant in my eyeballs. So when I wake up, I have to like put in my drops, and then I have to move it around like this, and then I can actually open my eyes.
I always think about why I have so many eye boogers.
Because you have a lot of lubrication. You have an oily skin type.
Yeah, but then why does it get hard sometimes?
Because it just dried out.
Oh. Yeah, it's like a rock.
Yeah, it's natural. I still get that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have an oilier skin type.
Yeah.
And you sweat a lot too. Like
Yeah.
your pores are really, you have a good hydration.
Yeah, I sweat for no reason sometimes.
And it takes a lot for me to sweat. Like I sweat today. That was new.
Yeah.
Not new, but like I don't really sweat that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweating is good though.
I know it's good. It just takes a lot for me to sweat.
But that was Monday about the dental cleaning.
That was
part.
so random about the eyes.
And then Tuesday we did our taxes and we were in a good mood. We had sushi and then we sat back and then we binge watched a bunch of Kevin Costner movies over the past week.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, I don't know what we did.
Wednesday was yesterday, right?
Oh, Wednesday was yesterday. Okay, so yeah,
we're all caught up. We're all caught up.
So today,
what are we doing today?
Today we're celebrating our birthdays.
Yes.
Actually, I feel like we're celebrating
Cheese birthday.
our anniversary.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
our dating anniversary.
Yeah, our dating anniversary, which is March 10th. So I came across looking at Eventbrite randomly. You know, I'm like, man, I can't afford Nika Takasuro 17.
Wait, let me say really quick before you continue your story. Chi is so obsessed with whiskey. It's amazing how obsessed with whiskey you are. Like every day, guys. Every day. Oh, I got to hear about a new whiskey as you come down here. A new whiskey when you sit down. A new whiskey when we go to sleep. Oh my gosh. But it's cool.
Dude, I think it kind of reminds me of my shoe days. It's different.
No, we explained it last show, right? You have this addictive personality, and when you move on from one addiction to another, that's the behavior.
Well, it's crazy though, but I do gain like so much knowledge because I'm excited about it.
Isn't it cool though?
It's cool, yeah, because I like pick it up, like
and you're actually reading. I was like, whoa! I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna just enjoy it.
It's pretty cool. Yeah,
it's good that you're reading.
I only do that to hobbies basically that I enjoy.
No, I like that.
Just like rock climbing.
Yeah.
Went crazy about it. And then, the shoes, you can ask me. I still remember like all my shoes, like the names of it.
That's good. I want you to have that because I feel like sometimes you go to me for all that information. I want you to have some like crazy banks of information where I'm learning about.
So the other thing, I'm not trying to go too crazy, is learning more about stocks. Yeah, we went.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Your Nika story. I want you to get back to.
Oh yeah, back to the Nika story. So
and then stocks.
So a normal Nika bottle is like the Takasuru. I don't know if anyone had that yet, but we have one bottle, and that's about $58 here.
Yeah.
That bottle is normally like $25 in Japan.
So sad.
That's because we pay more import taxes.
So sad.
And they're increasing import taxes after April 1st. So go get your alcohol, guys, because that shit is about to go up.
That's funny.
Any international, which is Scotch as well, Irish, any international whiskeys. And most of all the good ones are international. So go get your whiskey if you like whiskey. But a normal bottle of like Takasuru is the 17-year that we're trying is about $500, like $550.
But you didn't explain the event that we're going to.
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
And then the Takasuru 21 that we'll be trying today as well is $1,000. And I was like talking to Meg in a way that we're never going to buy these bottles.
Yeah, that was a good point. Because I was like, why don't we just go to Japan? And then we'd go check the Japan price. It was like really expensive.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to travel $700.
Yeah. And you still got to go.
That's $1,400 to go to Japan, but then that's without the hotel.
Yeah.
That's about not eating and transportation.
I still want to do that.
And pay for distillery costs, which is $200 a person.
It's not in Tokyo.
Huh?
It's not in Tokyo.
Yeah, it's not in Tokyo. We have to now take the train But then it depends as well. There's levels of the distillery. Like, do you want to try the rare shit or do you want to try the basic shit that we have? But the rare stuff is $500 a person.
So you looked at it.
Yeah, I mean, our clients went there.
Oh, I see.
And then she told me the cost and everything. I was like, yeah, I don't know.
Did they do that?
They didn't do it.
Oh,
it was too expensive.
$500. Huh?
Yeah, $500 because you're trying the hibiki 30 years. Like, took 30 years. That's like how old
we are.
We are. Yeah, it took 30 years to make that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's 1988. 1988.
8?
Yeah. But then we're lucky enough to find someone that's been a part of Nika. She's like the sales rep. She's been in the industry for, I think, 20 or 30 years.
Is she Japanese?
Yeah, she's Japanese. I think her name is Imoko or something. So she's doing a tour of Nika at a restaurant in downtown LA tonight.
Yeah.
And lucky enough, we were still able to purchase a ticket. So,
she found it.
Yeah, so we get to try 8 different types of whiskey. 8 bottles. I mean, we own only 2 of those bottles. So technically 6, which is still cool because we get to try the Nika gin, the Nika coffee malt.
Yeah.
The famous one, the Nika from the barrel.
Yeah.
Which is discontinued, I read.
Everything's discontinued.
Yeah. So Japanese whiskey is becoming scarce, and they already started about 3 years ago to start producing it.
Yeah.
So they started to distill because they know they had a shortage in 2013.
Oh, Rob was on the chat.
Hey, Rob.
Top roping, Daredevil. Wow, I'm soaking up so much knowledge right now. Happy early birthday. Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
We're going to see you this weekend. Okay, sorry.
So, yeah, we had the Takasuru coffee malt.
Coffee malt?
No, yeah.
Coffee grain.
The coffee grain we have, but we don't have the coffee malt.
Right.
And then that's what we're trying.
Oh, can you tell me the difference? Grain versus malt?
I don't know.
Is one corn?
Yeah, I think one's corn.
It has like a rye element to it. The coffee, Nika coffee grain has like a rye spiciness. Yeah.
And then we're trying the Takasuru 17 and 21. I think those are the big ones that we paid for.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you kind of think about it, getting a 1 ounce of those little bottles, a Takasuru bottle that's 21 years is $100 already. This ticket was worth that much.
Yeah, we're getting a deal, actually, to even
tasting.
Yeah,
even tasting, like they get a double shot or a single shot, right?
Yeah, we had a single shot of Klikkoman, which is another Scotch.
$45.
It was $45.
So, but you get educated in this one for 3 hours.
And you get to go through an experience. You get to see the marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing is such a big component of whiskey. Like I was reading in this book, it's like it's such a big deal. Like, I mean, with any business.
Yeah.
But then you could just see the power of it, like the power of marketing the campaign for, like, say, the Red Label and how Red Label's so big now or so successful. It just sucks too because you read about all the Japanese whiskey and they just did not plan for the future.
Yeah, they didn't plan for it because no one is interested in them over there. They love sake.
And
sochu.
beer, sochu.
No one's into the hard liquor stuff.
Well, now they know they have this crazy foreign market.
Yeah.
So did you read anything like, are they going to take a loss for like the next 30 years?
No, they're not taking a loss. So a lot of distilleries in Japan are making blends more. Right. So they're going to be blending. So the latest one that Nika just released last week was Nika Days.
Nika for days.
Yeah. Nika Days are it's a blend
of what? Do you know?
It's like a toki almost. So it's on the cheaper side. It's more of a mix.
But there was that other one, AO,
and that's a Suntory AO that's coming out in April, but it's not being released here.
Do you know the blend?
I don't know the blend, but it's not going to be like a hibiki.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. They're just sticking with those blends. And the only people that do have access to the reserves, like the scarce reserves of Nika from the Barrel and Takasuru 1721, are bars. They have, access to only one bottle at a time or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they have
like
all
high-end
these...
bars, like not just all bars. Yeah.
They have it on reserve then for these bars?
Yeah.
Only
Only for
they sell
bars.
them one at a time.
Yeah. They'll only sell it to bars. They won't sell it to liquor stores anymore. So
only in Japan?
No, here.
Oh, here.
Yeah. So you only can get it in certain places that makes sense, which is Japanese restaurants or.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. So taking care of their businesses over here as best they can. Well, that's still cool. It's cool to learn.
So you can still taste it. You can still go in the bar and taste those whiskey.
Yeah.
But you just can't buy it.
I see.
Yeah.
Where did you land on Irish whiskey?
Redbreast.
Redbreast.
But I don't think we're gonna get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's,
I think we should.
I
find
think our
like a little...
I think our friend that's in Taiwan right now, Shelly.
Oh yeah, Shelly's getting some stuff.
Yeah.
Cavalon, right?
Yeah, she kind of stumbled across a gold mine over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's duty free.
It's duty free, which is awesome.
Well, when I was in Japan for a second, there was just so many. Also duty free, right? And you're just like, what? And they even have those crazy, like, the art one, the collector one.
Yeah.
And they display it in that cool thing, like a glass case with the cool lighting coming out. I was like, oh, it was awesome.
Should have known. Isn't your mom going back?
They're going to go back in
Are they going
November.
Are they going to transfer in Japan?
Maybe. They usually don't. They usually go China and then... So China would be still good, I think.
Well, my mom is going to Taipei already, so...
Does she have... She's
going to take a picture when she's there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. She's going to Taipei?
No, it's just a stopover. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is she coming back already?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there'll be plenty of chances. Like, we have overflow of whiskey, B.
Yeah, we do.
Looks like we need a new bar.
Well, what I read, I'm still searching for a decanter, a smaller decanter, because you don't want too much oxygen in the bottle when it's halfway. So it starts to oxidize alcohol.
Wait, then you don't want a decanter, because decanter introduces more oxygen.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to find a smaller glass bottle to store the whiskey that's airtight.
Okay.
It's hard to find, actually.
Huh.
Yeah, like anything around like 500 to 400 milliliters, it's hard to find.
So you read this, but they didn't give you an example of what it looks like?
Well, most people say just finish it. Yeah. If you're halfway already, try finish it. Yeah.
But
don't
we're
leave
not
it.
Trying to kill our liver.
Yeah, we're not trying to kill our liver.
And I'm not trying to drink a bunch in front of you also.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's why people say open one bottle at a time. Try not to open too many bottles.
We opened all of those.
Yeah.
Wait, did you explain why it's bad?
Okay, so you already introduced oxygen into the bottle.
You opened a bottle.
Yeah, you open it, it's introduced.
Okay.
But then when you're not halfway yet, so there's minimal oxygen in there, so it doesn't really destroy the taste of it. Most of the time, the taste gets destroyed if it's halfway or more.
Oh.
Yeah, because now the alcohol is just evaporating inside the bottle.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, so it's taking away what you used to taste. It won't taste the same. Some people say the taste gets better a little bit above halfway. The taste gets better. A little bit alcohol gets evaporated.
Above halfway. Oh,
yeah.
It gets like smoother.
It gets smoother, and then when it gets halfway, it gets sort of more flat.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder if you read that right, and then does it influence the way you think or taste is something like a placebo effect almost, even though maybe skillfully or maybe we don't even have that yet. Like, how could you be so sure?
Well,
it's just what
we
read.
Gotta find out. Yeah.
Oh, we gotta drink. That's what.
The Hibiki Harmony is way on the low, so.
But
from what we documented in our notebook of all the tastings we have now you can drink it again and say, oh shit, it is ruined, or oh shit, it's smoother. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, at least we have our
But
notes.
if it's smoother, they
Yeah.
said there's less notes. You don't get those, oh, it's apple one way, and then you get raisins a little bit, and then there's an undernote.
When you say smooth, what does that mean?
It gets flat.
Smooth is flat?
So everything blends together now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
and the taste is probably shorter.
The finish.
The finish is shorter. Yeah.
Finish is shorter. Well, I don't even remember if the finish was long or short or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's cool. Yeah, we have our documents to. So, are we bringing our like little tasting journals out today?
Yeah, I am.
I'm gonna bring mine. Yeah.
Mine's on my phone, so I don't need to bring it.
Yeah. I have old school one. I write mine down.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm excited. Anything
So
else?
other things that we'll be doing is we get to hang out with our couples today.
Oh yeah,
Rob. I'm not today. I'm on Saturday.
Shout out to Rob and Bree.
And then learn fly fishing on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And then celebrate our anniversary. We're celebrating
tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah.
And also on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Are we doing anything else on Sunday? I think that's
we just have the party thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Hopefully my dress fits.
And that's it.
It's a 1920s themed party.
Yeah.
Chic.
20s
chic. Okay. And then it's at the Villa. It's one of the venues that kind of like started it all for us back in the day. We were there a lot. We were doing a lot of Vietnamese tea ceremonies. And you'd end up at the Villa. And so it'd be cool to like come back and see where it all began.
Well, I was just there last year, so nothing new.
Oh, it's nothing new?
Yeah.
I thought they were going to do something special.
No, I mean like everything. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's just a party.
It's just a party.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like the e-bell,
no, it's just a party.
Reveal.
This is different.
I see. I don't know.
This is just having fun.
I'm new, man. I'm very new. I didn't ever come out either, so So I just want to be in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys.
Thank you
for tuning in.
Thank you for joining us here on Past the Aisle. We're at the Levues on Instagram. We're at Kevin Levu on Instagram. If you're a couple of ours and you're listening, thank you for listening. If you haven't left us a review on Yelp, that really supports us. Keep making sure our business stays in business. We've been in business 10 years because of your reviews. So even though if your wedding happened like 9 years ago with us, still please leave us a review. We'd really appreciate it. And you can also find us on kevinlevuweddings.com. And it's booking season right now. So if you're looking for a wedding photographer here in Southern California, inquire soon and we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Ciao.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.